Hi guys, today we have special guest Maksim. He was our student and he accepted a new automation offer. And I want to ask him about his job search. Hey Maxim, how are you today?
Yeah, Alex, thanks. It's a pleasure that you asked me for this interview.
I have a question. How long it takes your job search and how many interviews do you have?
My job search took like around 2 months. You can count it yourself, like 1-2 interviews per day during 2 months. I think like about 50 phone calls.
I know Boston is very strong market, has very strong market. It's a lot of competitors.
Yeah.
That's why it always takes more than a couple of months.
Mhm.
But anyway, it's huge market, and you can find a very nice position like senior level.
Yeah.
And how our QA Turbo School help you to find this job? And my advices, my recommendations, my trainings. Can you tell about this training? Is it how it's changed your career?
Yes. So first of all, I want to give very big thank to you, Alex, because you did a great job, and basically all your everything you told me, all motivation that you gave me, you basically pushed me to work harder. And I took automation classes before, and I watched a lot of videos on YouTube about automation, and it didn't work out for me. I like how you made this course like from the beginning to and you increased like level like smoothly. Because I had the opportunity to ask my questions to you, I think it worked very well for me. And if you remember, like in the beginning, I asked you many stupid questions, and maybe I was just one student who asked any questions. But
not just one.
Maybe after second or third week, I already started to work on my own test framework for the company where I worked at that time. And because Alex helped me a lot to answer on all my questions, my like process went very well. And I think the base that you give to people in your course is very sorry for my English, is very good. You helped me a lot.
Thanks.
It's like, yeah, not in advertisement purposes, I'm saying that it's a real thing.
I want to mention that our courses gives different opportunity, like to create a code from scratch and test framework. It's practical side and it's definitely good. And I know exactly that before course and after course you create a lot of good stuff for API, for UI, for mobile testing. It's like Appium, REST Assured, Selenium. And you definitely had a lot of great skills before and after this course. But again, second part of our training, it gives practical skills for interview, because automation interview is different skill. And we train you for this interview just because I know exactly that you created a lot of good practical stuff, and it's true. And but anyway, possible that you can't pass some automation interview just because sometimes it's very tricky questions, sometimes it's something logical questions, or I have many documentation, different videos, different podcasts for that, practical from different real interviews. And it's very important to get the skills. Sometimes if you don't know how to create code, you can pass automation interview just because you know right answers. And people afraid of different code tasks and challenges. Did you have some challenges during interview?
So I can say that in 2 face-to-face interviews that I had, I wasn't asked to do any programming. Like maybe the most programming task for me was to write a simple method to click the button on a web page. I can say in my experience, I had 3 face-to-face interviews. 4 face-to-face interviews. 2 of them were for automation position. None of them I was asked like really to create some program, write something, nothing about algorithms. Again, depends on like company. Every company has their own recruiting process, but I can say that in most of companies you're probably not going to be asked to write any code. Everything will be asked like on your understanding of principles of testing, methods, like do you know about this technology, what do you use in your company, like what do you think is better, tell me something about test frameworks, which do you use, which one do you like it's more questions on understanding, how do you understand principles of testing, tools, and like things like that. So for people who are afraid of writing code, don't worry.
I have a question about the Java because now it's more popular in industry. And did they ask you about the Java
Yes.
questions about
Yes, of
the
course.
Scrum and yeah? Can you tell about
So
that?
it wasn't problem for me because I already have experience in that companies regarding processing in Agile. So for people who just starting their QA careers and we don't have enough experience in communicating in Agile, I would recommend to read articles and books about process. All processes are the same in the companies. You need to know what are the roles in the company. So it's developers, testers, project managers, and maybe some other managers. Everyone has its own role, and you need to be able to explain what do you do in certain situations. I had a lot of questions like that from project manager, and like my internal feeling was I didn't pass the interview with her, but it came out that everything was good. Just know about roles in the company, and we will ask you questions like how do you handle certain situations, like for example, question that I was asked is how I handle the situation when you running a regression test before release and you find some bugs, and who do you report about these bugs and how do you escalate this, and basically what do you do in this situation. So be prepared for this type of questions, because we also need to know how do you behave in stressful situations. But all questions are the same. You can find it in the internet. You can ask your friends, you can ask Alex. Alex helped me a lot while I was preparing for my interview. So we had like 2 hours session, right?
Yeah.
With him and with his successful students who passed the interview. So he helped me a lot, and yeah.
Thanks. We had discussion with you once many months ago about Selenium. I told you that Selenium can help you to improve your skills with mobile automation testing. And many students, they don't believe that. They think about, okay, if you need mobile automation, you should learn just mobile automation, or opposite. But from my experience, if you know the Selenium and Java enough, you can create page grid model. After that, you can move to different directions, like you can create rest assure, easy. After that, you can create mobile automation with Appium, and it's like base for you. If you can complete this Selenium project, after that you can do everything what you need. What do you think? It helps you, no?
Yeah, that was exactly my case, because as I said, after maybe 2 weeks, I started my own project. So first I made a project for my company's web application. I wrote a few tests. I showed it to Alex. He was, I think, a little bit impressed.
Yeah, that's true.
And so after that, I figured out that the same principle I can use for my mobile project, and also because the our main customer application in my company where I worked at that time was a mobile application in iOS. I set it up project in like Appium, Java, TestNG, and Maven. So basically all the same tools that we learned in our creative school. And I tried um, more information I get from lessons with Alex. I tried to use it right away on my real projects, and I liked that we learned about data providers, about like XML, like page object model. We learned it very soon, so I had time to practice, and yeah, so all things that Alex gave me, I found it useful because, like, no bullshit.
Only practical stuff.
Yeah. Only practical stuff.
I was impressed. Yeah, mobile testing, and rest assured you use Java a lot. And this month I was impressed because you know Java enough for automation, any type of automation testing. You can do security testing, performance testing. It's not so complicated after Selenium, after UI testing. It's just next direction. But what I was impressed because you accept offer. It's mobile automation, and it's Python.
Yes.
And they know exactly that you don't know Python.
Yes.
And how it's possible you prove that you have enough skills for mobile automation with Python, and
Yes.
don't know exactly that you don't know Python.
Yes. So I told them during my maybe first interview with QA director that I don't know Python, but I'm willing to learn, and I learn fast. And I proved my skills in automation using Java, and he said that it's fine that you don't know Python, but I believe that it will it's not gonna take a lot of time for you to learn new programming language, because it's the same principles in every automation project that uses Selenium. It's page object model. The programming language will be different. The idea where you program your test will be different. Test framework will be different. But it's like all of them were following the same structure. So you just switch to another language, and if you understand how it works in Java, you'll be fine in Python. And that's what I'm doing right now. Basically, I'm trying to convert everything that I wrote for Java. I'm trying to convert it into Python, and it doesn't give me a lot of problems.
Maxim, what do you recommend our future students of QA Turbo School?
I would recommend to you guys don't be afraid of coding. Don't be afraid to start to code. It's important. You never learn how to ride a bike without riding a bike. You never learn how to, I don't know, swim if you never try to swim. So first of all, you need practice. You need a lot of practice. Second of all, try to repeat everything that you did during the lesson, because I think why this course helped me, because after I watched video like online, so I rewatched it and I made pauses every time, and I made notes, and like I have a library of my notes that I still use. So try to note everything that you think will be important. Another thing, if you need 2 times to watch video, just watch 2 times, but make sure that you understand everything, because like Especially in the beginning, of course, you need to understand principles in order to build tests around these principles. Especially when it comes to the end, we start to Alex start to explain a lot of specific technologies like Jenkins, Selenium Hub, Docker, things like that, like special frameworks for reports. So all those things I watched them, I made notes, and I started to implement them when I already finished this course. And I found it very useful. Everything that we learned, I tried to implement in that company on the real project. And believe me, all those things are very useful. And when I was in the job searching process, all recruiters asked me about that. And those notes that I made during the course helped me a lot. I just put everything together. Any project, every company will have their own unique product, and you need to adapt course on your product. Or you need to, for example, if you study and you don't have a real product where you can practice, you probably need to find some open source. There are a lot of on GitHub. I found many projects, and you basically can copy and start to work on it. Be confident. Believe me that all these things are in a real demand. Anyways, if you want to get this job, you will have to learn this. There are no miracles. People want to hire you because you know this, and you want to get this job, right? So just work on yourself, find the time for programming and for practicing, and you'll be successful.
After our course, if from a new company they suggested you to create some Python, Selenium framework, or Appium, or C#, but you know Java, you know Java enough, you know Selenium, you know Appium. Can you do something on different language with C# or Python?
Yeah, for sure.
It's easy. I mean,
yes.
After that, because you know one language enough,
yes.
you can use it. You can create page object model from scratch. Yeah. After this course, you can create page object model from scratch. Yeah.
Yes, totally. And that's what I'm doing right now. So basically, because I know Java, I'm just trying to make the same thing for Python. Yeah. So that's
even C#. I mean, you know Java. After that, you can convert in a couple of days to C#. Tester, because it's same syntaxes, and you just use, you learn something new. You learn new test framework like in Python or C#. But anyway, it's a learning process always. Because it's senior level. Because senior level, it's not like you can create some test cases, automation test. It's mid level. But if you can create page object model from scratch, it's definitely senior level. You understand main idea of automation. You understand high level of any automation project, and it's very important skill for any interview.
Yes. Automation is very useful right now in many companies, and many companies looking for how to automate their processes, and it's a perfect start in IT career, because basically you start and you do a lot of manual job, but while you're getting more experience, you start to understand more in programming and in processes of development, and you can contribute more and more and more, and you can become a senior QA engineer, or you can switch to development, or you can switch to QA manager or project manager. And I know a lot of examples. Basically, I can pick up any project right now, and start to contribute. I just need to learn a little bit about project, look in their test plan, identify what needs to be automated first, second, and find out what tools do I need to use for automation, because you also need to understand that something you should automate using API, make a framework for API testing. For some things you need to do end-to-end UI tests. Something needs to be used, like you need to ask developers to write more unit tests. That also helps a lot.
It's most important skill set for any company because I know many automation engineers, they create codes, they create automation test cases, and they are very intelligent, very clever automation engineers. But the problem is they don't know how to create page object model from scratch. They don't understand main principle of automation. And it means they are not senior level of automation, they just mid level. But they are clever guys, they can do something for automation, it's amazing. But when they try to find new job, it's a little bit more complicated for them because when you understand main principles, you can create everything from scratch. It's definitely senior level of automation QA.
Yeah, so my personal experience, I missed the step where I could be afraid to start a framework because I joined the company which didn't have automation, and basically I started that from scratch.
Nice experience.
Yeah, it was very nice
The
experience. It was a little bit stressful in the beginning, but you get a lot of advantages of that because basically you start and you maintain your own project, you pick your language what you like, and I
make
use
decision. It's very important.
yes, and like I'm very happy that I met Alex and he helped me a lot to become like QA engineer, and with my project in the company, like it was a great experience for me. I never regret that I started this course. It helped me a lot, and I know other people who also for whom it also was very helpful.
It's the best advertisement for me. Okay, thank you so much, Maxim.
Yeah, thank you, Alex.
For your advices, for your conversation. Thanks.
Thanks for inviting me.